Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you've recommended me in the comment section of one of my videos. And if we should see something of yours shown on this channel, just leave me the name of this Steam Workshop item in the comment section below and I'll eventually get around to it. But don't post any links because YouTube will most likely delete it before I can see it. But for today we are looking at another small fighter. This one is called the SF-6 A-4 naval fighter, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a space-only fighter that features both rocket launchers and gatling guns, as well as deployable warheads underneath that you can yeet at your enemies and hopefully blow a massive hole in. As I tested over here, it's very effective. There is a massive chunk that I took out just by throwing them at the albatross. Anyway, coming back over to here and then pressing F10. Finding the naval fighter in the spawn menu, there it is. This thing is only 804 small blocks using the Wasteland and Sparks of the Future DLC packs. It features no mods, and you can see all the information about it on the Steam Workshop page right here. So just giving this thing a thumbs up, moving all the way around to the very front. We'll have a quick look around the outside, then we'll fly around for a bit and then we'll play around with the deployable warheads. So at the very front, this is what we get. Front and center, we got ourselves a bunch of lovely battered dark grey steel blocks that make up the main body of the ship, apart from a few bits of orange here and there. If we were to come all the way over to here, we got ourselves a fighter cockpit to fly this thing around, with a rocket launcher on the left and right hand side to blast a nice hole through your enemies. Just below our rocket launchers, we got 4 gatling guns for some manual firepower in case you run out of rockets to blast your enemies with. And just above that, we got some ion thrusters to help us stop. If we were to continue around the side, we'll then come across onto our wing where we do have a wasteland spotlight just below our wings to light up the darkness. There we can see the first of a few orange blocks. If we were to continue all the way around onto the side of this wing, we got ourselves a red blinking light, and on the opposite side, we should have a green blinking light. No, we've got a red one on this side as well. Coming all the way down and below our wing, we've got an LCD screen with a lovely label on there. We can see a little decoy hidden away with some barbed wire blocks just covering it up. Moving across to the main body, we then got some ion thrusters help on our left and right hand side, and we can see our little deployable warheads just below our wing, which is attached onto a rotor which we can deploy off and then throw at an enemy. Moving across over to here, we can see the side of our gatling guns where we can load in ammunition if we need to, as well as a few more ion thrusters to help on our left and right. If you were to come around and continue towards the very back here, this is what's going to push us along. So we've got 2 large ion thrusters and more ion thrusters, so we should get some good speed out of this. And if we were to move all the way up and above here, we can look down at our wings, where we can see some more great use for our barbed window blocks, and of course the LCD screens with our logo on it. As for the main body, even more ion thrusters to help push us down. Then towards the front there is our fighter cockpit, and there is our nose. Coming all the way down and underneath, we then got a beacon hidden away inside our nose so we can always find this thing if we need to. There is the bottoms of our gatling guns, there is our connector to fuel this thing up and load ammunition inside if we need to. We can clearly see our warheads on the opposite side, as well as even more ion thrusters to push us up. And moving towards the very back there are large ion thrusters to push us forwards. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the SF-6 A-4 naval fighter. And it is a rather compact, yet a very fun vehicle to play around with. So grabbing hold of my character and bringing up the HUD, we've got 2 tabs to go through, with number 1 being for our gatling guns to fire them all the way forwards, and hopefully we'll deal a nice bit of damage. Number 2 is then for our rocket launchers, so we just fire them both together. And number 3 is for our interior lights, where we can turn that off, and then our lights blinking on the side will stop blinking. Number 4 and number 5 is for our warhead deploy system, but I'll come back to that a bit later. Number 6 is for our ion thrusters, where we turn off the large ones at the back there, so we just switch them off in case we don't need them and want to save on power. There we go. Number 7 is for our beacon on and off. Number 8 is for our battery to auto or recharge. And number 9 is for our lights at the very front there in case we need additional light to find any kind of pesky enemies trying to hide out in an asteroid. Coming over to tab number 2, this is simply a projector on and off that we can use to repair up the ship, and number 2 is to replace our rotor head, which is what our warheads are currently attached onto. So as for a demonstration of the warheads, of course we can't just drop them straight away because they will just stay in place, So we need to get moving, and we're just going to simply yeet them at the albatross. So pressing 5 to arm our warheads, then we're going to start to move. We're just going to come across over to here. Looking down, we're going to press number 4. Okay, trying that again, because instead of deploying the warheads, I accidentally turned off the interior lights at the very front there. Simply a misclick, so we're simply going to charge forwards once again. We're going to get enough speed going towards it like so. We're going to press number 4, then we're going to pull away. There goes our warheads. Now we're simply going to slow down a little bit. And there we go, a nice lot of damage we just dealt to that large ship. And quite a sound it made, it was not happy about that. So just come all the way across to it, and we'll see how much damage we dealt, and of course we can just go and replace the warheads like so. We will need to the warheads back ourselves. I meant just replace the rotor head. So over here, it looks like that is where we damaged the ship, and we went through our armored plates, and we can go straight inside the ship with our little ship. There we go. So that is how that works. So we just come out there, and we will just replace the warheads on there, and we'll try it once again. So here we go. We can now just come over to here. We can just go and press that. There we go. Easily replaced. And back into the fighter cockpit we go. Of course, we will need to put them down onto the hotbar if we need to, or we can just come into here, find our warheads. We're now going to arm the warheads, and we're going to come across and fire them once again, hopefully into the main body of this ship. And here we go. We're going to use a cinematic camera for this. Just going to charge all the way forwards, fire the warheads, and now we're going to pull up. And there we go. That is a nice lot of damage, and I do believe I could have just crashed the ship into the side of the ship, and now, well, it's a very odd hollow ship. There we go. Yes, that is all that does, and is a fantastic ship to play around with. So one final thing to do with this little ship, if I can find out where I've just pasted that in. Now just fly it around, and we'll slam ourselves straight into there, and we'll detonate the warheads along with it. So here we go, just fly this off into the distance. Do a 180, and that should be good enough. Yes, we are a nice long way away. And here we go, in first person view. We're going to try and do a nice lot of damage to the main body of the ship. And here we go, we have armed our warheads. We're now going to deploy the warheads. So there they go now underneath us. They might be going a bit lower, they might not hit. Now we're going to crash into it. And there we go, at least one warhead slammed into the hangar bay of the Albatross. The other one is floating away into the distance, so it did simply miss it. As for the crash onto the ship, we simply lost the nose of this little naval fighter. We can still fly this thing around. We've got left, right, up and down, so we can fly this thing around and live another day. But that is it for the SF-6 A-4 naval fighter. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do, and I'll be back with another video somewhat soon. Bye bye.